Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316. Welcome to another episode of the Lonesome Cowboy Podcast. And on the screen with me on the line, I see that's the old radio days, on the line. It's on the line, it's on the screen. I have a wonderful lady from the Owen Sound area, and she is, got the coolest name too, Gracie Jet. How are you, Gracie?
Good. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Brian. This is gonna be fun.
You're very welcome. I've met you at Folk Canada this year, and you and Josh, and I was like, oh my God, there's all these great people. I have to talk to them again.
No, thank you for asking me to do this. I'm really
Oh, no
excited.
problem.
It was
No
great
problem.
meeting you too. Oh,
Oh,
fun.
thank you. That was wonderful. So the first thing that jumped out at me, you're a nurse.
I am.
You still work in that field?
I do. So I do a lot of jobs full time. But
How can you do more than one?
I know I really do. But yeah, so I've been a nurse for the last 8 years. And I've worked kind of everywhere in the hospital, but now I'm in oncology, so that's where I've been for the last year. And
Uh-huh.
it's a really rewarding job, and I really like the people I work with and the kind of like the atmosphere that it brings. And I think I'm a very talkative person and a very outgoing person, and I just
Uh-huh.
think if I can bring light to people that are going through something that is so horrific. And I grew up, my mom had cancer for most of like a lot of my childhood. So kind of being there is something that like it just feels super rewarding. So I really like it. And I'm excited to continue that my career in that until
Hmm.
music can kind of teeter tot and pay for all my bills, you know?
I got you. Yeah. Well, that is a reality that we all have to be aware of nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you got a new album.
Yes.
Tell us all about the new album.
Yes. So it's a ten song album, and it's going to be called Smile. I was kind of thinking about what I was going to call it, and I was thinking about calling it Survive, but this song is for me are my diary entries of my life over the last 5 years. And there's a lot of different themes in the album. Mental health. I suffered a really bad concussion a few years ago that changed my life. And so that really influenced the writing on the album. And I think if you listen to this album, it's going to make you laugh, cry, and feel empowered all at the same time.
Hmm. My wife I always said she would be, and she knew she would be a good nurse. But uh, that's, man, you have two emotionally wrenching careers going
I
on.
know.
And
Yeah.
and it's got nothing to do with your music, but how do you handle it? I mean, my wife said the first thing that she'd lose it is if it was a child
Yeah.
and or if it was like, an elderly person and there was nothing they could do for them.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's got to be. I mean, watching those beautiful blue eyes getting all teary-eyed, I would just, I
Thanks.
can't even picture it.
Oh, well, I think I've been working in healthcare since I was 14 years old. I
Wow.
started in a retirement home that I worked in for 5 years. And I
Oh.
remember someone passed away that reminded me of my grandma when I was like maybe 14. And I remember thinking to myself, I cried and cried like it was like my grandma dying. And I remember saying to myself, I will you have to put things in a box in the way that you leave it at work. And I remember I got too close, and sometimes that can be really hard. So I remember I decided after that I wouldn't do that, but it still does affect me. And I remember this woman left this huge impact on my life because it felt like and whenever I meet someone, I treat them like I've known them forever. I want to get to know them. I want to like interact in a way that feels real. And I think sometimes even after that experience when I was so young, I still do that. But like I'm in a position where I'm making an impact on these people's lives. I am there for them in their worst moments. And if I can be there in a way that's compassionate and loving and even fun, that I can make a difference, I think even if it ends in tragedy, then I've done my part to in their lives. And I
Good
just
for
think,
you.
yeah, and I just think it is a really hard job to do.
Hmm.
Sometimes it does really affect me, but at the end of the day, I'm there to help and I have to remember that. And so that's kind of how I deal with it. Sometimes I come home from work and I have to have a little bit of a quiet time.
I
So,
bet. I was about to say,
but
you must have to wind down of some kind,
yes,
for that. And of course, you do have great songwriting ability, and you seem to channel some of that into that kind of stuff.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You.
And you kind of tied your two careers together, didn't you? And you put out a song in 2022, was it?
I think so. Are you talking about Nightingale or
Yeah,
Bicycle?
Nightingale, the one that I read the article in the Owen Sound paper there.
Yes,
They had it up on a paper online thing, anyways. Yeah, and I said, "Hey, look at that! She did a song." And there she
I
was,
did.
all in her COVID outfit and
I
taped
know.
up and wrapped up. And I went, "Oh, dude, bad news, bad memories from way back when, eh?"
Well, it was a really scary time. I remember I went into work and over it was just like a flick of a switch and
Hmm.
everything changed overnight. We went from not wearing masks to doing nothing and then there was an outbreak and we didn't really know what was going on at the time, but like through I worked throughout the entire pandemic. I've been nursing for a long time
Hmm.
and it was really really hard and like so I get bored sometimes at work so I do work on other units because I like the variety. I like having different experiences and so through the pandemic I would go to work sometimes and they would be like, Grace, you're going to go work here today, and I'd have a completely different job and it was a lot of work and very stressful
Sure.
and I'm very glad that we made it through.
Good
It,
stuff. Now
yeah.
that song Nightingale, so that must have been well received. Did you get some local airplay and support for it?
Yes, I did actually. I was able to I did stuff around Owen Sound and the hospital I work at was super supportive and they did some posts about my song
Nice.
and on like also on Instagram around the world like people would
Really?
post my video and stuff like that because I think there is this whole group of people that are nurses that also we're all alike. It's kind of funny. And there's this whole Instagram presence of nurses. And I think I think it's a very honest look at what happened in COVID and what my experience was. Every story that's told in that song is true. Everything
Hmm.
I saw is in that song and watching people go the devastation of COVID, watching people go through that experience was huge. And so it was my way of dealing with what happened
Yeah, that's
those
awesome.
years.
Yeah, love
You.
it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, as a new artist and a woman, um, I talk to my wife about stuff like this, and what are some of the challenges that you have today? Do you have any challenges? I won't say what are. Do you have any? And I mean, hopefully, there's nothing around gender, but I've heard the stories, so I'm just hoping you never experienced that, and tell me otherwise, or not.
I I think on most occasions it is pretty good, but I think there has been experiences. I was actually talking to another female artist about this earlier and how I get worried that I will be perceived a certain way for trying to be assertive and like
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
yes.
Because as a man, they are they're working hard and they're doing their job. But if a woman is angry or trying to be assertive, not even angry,
Yeah.
it comes off that they're mean or they're hard to work with. And I think that, like, I was talking about these different roles in music with men and women, and it's instead of being assertive, you're being bitchy. I don't know if I can say that on here, but
Yes, you can.
is that okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's all these different roles. And I think I haven't had a lot of experiences like that, but I have absolutely worked, like played shows where my band feels like I'm unsafe because people are either drinking a lot and kind of are get very touchy or
Oh,
like in my face and stuff like that.
yeah.
And I'm a very gregarious person. I'm a very talkative person.
Yep.
And sometimes I wonder if because of who I am, people feel the right to either kind of grab me at shows and stuff like that. It doesn't happen
Yeah.
much anymore. I
Yeah,
haven't
that's good.
had one of those experiences in a long time, but I think becoming an artist in the last, like, starting to do shows with a live band and solo and stuff like that. At the beginning, I think you're so happy just to be doing it. You'll
Hmm.
let things slide that you would not let slide in your real life,
Yep.
especially if
Yep.
someone
Yep.
ever did that to me at the hospital. It would be a completely different deal. But sometimes I used to say to myself, I'm just happy to be in the room. You know what I
Oh, yeah. I
mean?
gotcha. Yeah.
I'm happy to be in the room. So I haven't had a lot of experiences like that, but it definitely is an issue, or feeling like as a woman you are less than in this industry. And I don't think that's the case. There's so many powerful women. I was watching a video about Joni Mitchell recently,
Oh,
and
yeah.
about how she did these different shows with just women artists. And I just thought that was so fabulous. I was like, get it, girl, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's a sad thing, and I think nobody should be bothered when it comes to their gender or otherwise when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it's
Absolutely.
sad that it still goes on a little bit, you know? Hey, I see you all kinds of connections, young lady. You even got a Sault Ste. Marie connection because I seen you playing with this Brandon Roush kind of guy.
Yes.
How'd you
Yeah.
find him? Is he
Um,
coming down there? See, I don't even know nothing about what's going on here.
oh no. So we met him at Folk Canada,
Yeah. So you just
and
met him?
just met him.
And I saw your pictures with him playing the bass or something or drums or something. And I went,
Drums.
what the heck's he
Yeah.
doing?
He came up. He's actually going to be playing in my band.
Nice.
Going to be awesome. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, we met him at FM Folk Canada, and we met so many amazing people, and it was just such a great experience. But Brandon is actually coming up this weekend, so we're gonna
Cool.
record some live videos. And but I think for Folk Canada, like, the biggest thing for me was meeting all these different artists that are all from around different places, and it was just such a great experience, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that kind of stuff, you know, that where the connections are being made
Absolutely.
beyond the borders of this city. Now, I read this and I went, no way. And I would have loved to have seen little 8-year-old Gracie with her British accent. You must have been the cutest thing in the world with that British accent.
I think I was pretty feisty. Like, and I wouldn't say I would, like, when you watch these movies and it's all these like super posh London accents. I was born in the West Midlands in a place called Wassall. And so my accent was very, very strong. And people ask me, oh, can you still do like an English accent? I said, absolutely not. I don't know how to do it. And if it comes out,
Really?
not at all. I can say certain things that I remember that you words that I don't use very often, like dollarama or like yogurt, like stuff like that. But if I'm around my family for too long, or like if I'm just like go away with them, it starts to come back. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, what am I talking like that for?
I picture little 8-year-old Gracie like that kid on that's the meme video there on the internet. It's a goat. It's a fucking goat.
Yes, me and my family watch like old videos of me,
Oh, right.
and I was a character. If you think I'm eccentric now, I
Oh,
used to
really?
see me when I was a kid. I would, whenever a camera was in front of me, I would do this. I'd be like, like just like a lot. I was a lot.
I love it. I was a lot. That's great. So, whereabouts in England is this?
So it's the West Midlands. So it's a place called Wassel. So it's like an hour away from Birmingham would
Oh,
be the easiest way to say it. Yeah.
gotcha. Okay,
Mhm.
that's good stuff. And so tell me the story of why is this where your folks were, and then you came to Canada? Is that it, or how did that work?
My mom was born in St. Catharines, and then
Okay.
they moved back to England, and so my dad had a very high stress job when we were in England. He worked with women. He started a thing called Walsall Street Teams, where they were working with trafficked women and
Oh, okay.
a lot of addiction and stuff like that. My dad started this organization, and it became a really big organization. And over the years, with doing this job, starting this organization, my dad became very burnt out. And so they made the decision to leave England and to start again. So that is how we came to Canada. And when we first moved here, we were actually, my parents were going to run this rehab center. And the man, when we got here, we just packed up everything to move to Canada, and the man died.
Oh
So
no.
yes, so who was funding this project, and so we got here. My dad didn't have a job. We're in the land of snow, and I remember we were living in Sauble Beach, which is like an hour away from, like maybe 30 minutes away from here, and like my dad had no job. We didn't even have our house yet, and everything was just up in the air. And so he ended up finding a job as a carpenter, and then we were able to stay, and we've been here ever since.
Wow. What a
Pretty
story.
crazy, right?
I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Do you have still good memories of growing up there? I guess at
In
8 years
England?
old. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember like not tons of it, but I have big memories of like I was saying to someone the other day, my dad built this structure in my backyard because in England you didn't play out front of your house. It was only in the backyard.
Correct.
And he made this like big jungle gym. And I used to stand on top of it because it was kind of flush with the fence, and I would sing "We Will Rock You" at the top of my lungs
I
to
love it.
all the neighbors all the time. And I would just sing all these songs. And I remember thinking, when I was young, I remember singing, like, you can't chant. So my real name is Grace Lapsley, but you can't chant that. Come on. You gotta have something cooler. So at a young age, I decided that my name was going to be Gracie Jet because Grace Lapsley is not chantable. Gracie Jet absolutely is.
I
So
love it how you came about that decision. See, look at this. I'm a fan. Look at I still have my Gracie Jet
yes,
button.
you
There you
found
go.
that on the
I
floor,
found that
right?
on the floor. I said that can't be on the floor. I gotta pick that up.
Perfect.
Have you been back to the UK? Do you visit family or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I have been back a few times, but not a lot. And I'm hoping to do some shows in the UK once the album's out and be able, because I have a lot of family there too, and
Mm,
maybe like create a fan base in the UK. So that's kind of the plan. So I
yeah.
haven't been back a lot, but for the future, I think there will be a lot of me there, which is
Does being born there help you at all? Like to go back
absolutely.
and play? Do you have a British passport?
Yes, I have dual citizenship. So I have
Nice. Good for
Canadian and
you.
English, right?
Good
Fun.
for you. Wow. Excellent. So you can go working over there, no troubles at all.
No, not at all. And I have family, and I can pretty much just walk into the country and like, because I'm from there. I was born
Yeah.
there. So
You have
it's
any grandparents
pretty
still
good.
there?
All my family. We are the only family that's in Canada. So I have two sisters and my parents, and that's it here. And then my mother has three siblings that all live in England. So
Awesome. I
yeah.
love it. That's outstanding. So, Gracie, what's the next big thing for you? What do you, I know you got an album coming out, so or out. So I guess I'm already saying, what's the next thing coming?
Well, I think so. The album will come out next year, 2026,
Oh,
and
okay. There you go.
so it's not out yet.
All right.
I do have obviously some songs on Spotify, but this album is kind of me coming into my own sound, my own voice. And I think what people are going to hear on this album is a lot different to what is out on my social, like on my socials and Spotify and stuff. And I'm really excited for people to hear these songs and the instrumentation, the production that Josh Ritchie has created for
Yeah.
songs. And the next thing that is to come is the album will be coming out, and then I'm going to be doing some touring and stuff. Hopefully, I can get some festivals and kind of just audience build and create an audience that is because I was saying to someone with, especially with this album not out, um, trying to explain to them what the sound is, because to me the sound will be a Gracie Jet sound, but to everyone else they don't know what that is. So I was saying to someone it kind of has like a Fleetwood Mac rumor sound, and that's the best way to describe it. But I can't wait for this album to be coming out, and this is just the Gracie Jet sound, you know what I mean?
I
So
love
big
it.
things to come. A lot of I've been working on different social media stuff, different possible show dates and stuff. So that will be really exciting.
Nice, nice, nice. It's amazing, when you talk about sounds, because I was just filling out some application form and they said, and they actually said, what do what is your sound like,
Yeah.
and then they give an example that, it's like something like this, and then they name an artist or something like that. And I was listening to your stuff and I said, geez, she's not country and she's not really, poppy, but she's got you got a good solid rock and kind of sound. I said, I heard, I feel a little bit of Melissa Etheridge in there
Cool.
and that, that kind of stuff. Eh? And I said, if this is what this album is like, because I loved her stuff when she was doing, the No Souvenirs era and stuff like
Mhm.
that. She was outstanding. So I'm hoping I'm going to fall in love with your album, and I'm sure I will
I
when
think you will. I'm
when
excited
I
for you
get
to
to hear
hear
that
it.
again. So how do you describe your sound? Like, I mean, you just said it's like a Fleetwood Mac-ish. So,
Yeah.
but that's a hard thing for an artist to say. Like, define it. Like,
It and I always say like, and I think actually Josh Ritchie said this to me years ago, like we need to do what serves a song instead of trying to stay in a genre. Like I think with these songs, it's a cohesive product. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? This project, everything flows together, but also like with creating a sound, I just pulled my nose ring off. Oops. With these songs, like they do have a Gracie Jet sound, and I want to be there for each part. Like, and I want to decide on the sound. I want to make sure that it's what I want, and I think I don't want to be put into a box of that this is the only thing I can do. And then it like I want to do what serves a song. When I write, I would say I write from a heightened state of emotion. If I'm sad, happy, it comes from, or if I'm reflecting on a memory. And I think I want to do what serves that song and what works. And also
Yeah,
like in that feels good to me. I think I love like a glockenspiel. I love a lot of guitar solos, really fun piano parts. And I think you're going to hear a lot of those different things through the album.
that's awesome. I love it. Um, and then you have to, of course, then you got to start touring that album and stuff like that. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Actually, I did see you post something today about why people aren't doing live shows anymore or like scaling back.
yes,
And
that was one of my postings on my Substack because
yeah.
I have encountered all kinds of people that are
Mhm.
like, saying, we can't do it or we did do it. Now we got to, go back and make some money so we can tour.
And that's the thing because I think as an artist you want to audience build, you want to grow, but when I just don't, I find that since COVID, people aren't going out as much anymore. People aren't
Yeah.
going out to venues to hear a new artists, and it feels like the divide between an emerging artist and someone that's established is the gap between it is getting bigger. And it's really hard, especially with everything that's going on with the economy and the cost of everything that's going on. Like I work full time. I have multiple full-time jobs, and trying to make it feasible to do these shows in new places is really, really hard. And it's scary, especially because you're putting everything out there to do these shows, and you may lose so much money that you're in a hole, and then you're trying to get out of this
Yeah.
kind of cycle. And so I think trying to find a way to do tours and stuff where you at least make a little bit of money, or sometimes I would like I say like I'll do a show because it's a good opportunity, and then I also want to do shows that are for me, but also they do need to make money because this isn't a hobby for me. This is what I want to do with my life, and
It's the next
and
step.
yeah, and so it's not like I'm just going around because this is my hobby and I like to do it and I play a gig once in a while on a weekend. That this is what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
And so I can't, you can't just continuously lose money. You know what I mean? And so you
Well,
have to decide your avenue.
yeah, and that's one of the reasons I wrote what I wrote because
Mhm.
after being on tour, if we didn't have that grant,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, because the grant was tied into Culture Days so that it could be a pay what you can, but we still got our regular pay because of the grant.
Right.
I can I can't imagine how miserable we would have been because let's face it, the crowds weren't, as full as we'd always like it.
Hmm.
Had some great ones, some not so great ones, but
Hmm.
we still played anyways. Um, and so I'm thinking here going, wow, if we didn't have that, like man,
Yeah.
like we'd be sleeping in the car and
I know.
uh,
Well, we do that. We do
yeah,
that.
yeah, no kidding. That's what my wife and I have been saying. Yeah, if we can get one of like those camper vans or a small mini camper we can pull in the back.
That'd be great. I
Yeah.
could live in my parents when I was younger had I called it the shaggin' wagon. And it was like a big art kind of like not like I don't know, it's like a Scooby-Doo van. It was, and we called it the shaggin' wagon. I don't know why. It
Oh,
had like red velvet seats in it and like seats that would spin around. It was like, I
nice.
forget what it was, but it was awesome. And honest, the amount of times I just sit here thinking about if my parents had kept that, like I would be set. I was like, why didn't you do that? And they're like, you thought it was ugly. I was like, I did.
Hey, you got to have a look at the new Volkswagen vans.
They're like spaceships. I find them I like the vintage. I like the cool
Yeah,
old ones. Like the new ones are like
and they're electric.
oh really?
Yes.
Well, that would be quite good actually. Maybe save a
Yeah.
little money on
I'm
gas.
looking at that going, oh, if I had that boy, that'd be sweet.
Yes, it
I
would.
could live on the road for a little bit in that.
True.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. Good stuff. Well, you were quite the person that you have these careers and you're bound and determined to make it all go. And I think you're just aces to me, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, just
Thank
aces.
you.
And yeah, that Josh Ritchie boy better behave himself, all right?
Oh, I'll make sure he does.
You does, all right. Gracie, tell everybody where where they can find you and your socials and your music and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. So I'm on all streaming platforms. You can look me up at Gracie Jet with one T. If you do the two, it doesn't always come up, but I have music on Spotify, Apple Music. I have live performances on YouTube. Check out my website at www.graciejet.com. And I do a lot of my digital media on Instagram, and that's at Gracie Jet. So just check me out, check out my songs. If you have any like other artists that are kind of coming into what we're doing into this world, always message me if you have questions, like reach out. I'd love to connect. So, or just anybody or even a fan. I would love to like
Yeah.
hear what you have to say about my song. So,
Yeah. And it's interesting because here's the cool part, folks. When you follow us and buy our music, you can call us. You can talk to us.
yeah.
Yeah. You send us a letter, and if they don't write you back, shame on them, but I
Yeah.
write you back, and I know Gracie would.
I would absolutely. But yes, check out my songs and make sure to follow me. So when my album
Yes.
Smile comes out next year, you're the first to know.
And coming from a guy who ran my own studio downtown here for 26 years or plus
Mhm.
as a photographer, your promo photos are very good.
Thank you.
I love them. I went, wow, whoever she had to take these, well done. The black and whites are great with that knitted outfit you have on.
Yes.
Love it.
I make all me and my mother make all my crochet outfits.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Yeah, you got your own line of clothing now. That's
I
your next step.
know.
Yeah, crochet clothing. Man, you're awesome. I love it.
You're awesome, Brian. Thank you for having me.
All righty. Thank you.